What's up, guys? So today's video, we're gonna be working on a few things. Mainly, we're gonna be working on this rear quarter because that's the one where we have the visible damage, and we're gonna be doing a couple other things. So let me flip this around and show you what's up. Okay, so we're gonna be doing this, but right now, Omar's just removing the back rebar, reinforcement bar. And then we're gonna be replacing it with that one there. So we got a new one to put on, well, new used one. But yeah, this one's damaged on that back corner, so that's the reason why we're replacing it. And that's it, she's off. Here goes a new one getting put on. We'll get all these bolts up in here and she'll be on. So Omar's is finishing putting on that crash bar there on the back. And I think since we're on the trend right now of getting rid of all the crash parts, and I think that's gonna be just about it as far as crash stuff, we'll get those two hood hinges and maybe put them on the front here. So, because like I said, this one is bent up and pretty much got bent parts off the car at this point. So might as well swap these out and see how bad this hood is. I think the hood's a little bit twisted, but we'll find out in a second. All right, guys, so we got hood open. Got our hinges here. Let's get it done. Get that. Is that right there? Oh, yeah, somewhere. Nuggets. So hood hinges are on. We did have to kind of pound this down with a slide hammer, which you probably saw. And Omar is getting all crazy with the slide hammer. Why don't you just put the hook on there? There should be a hook attachment. Just fucking go like that. No, grab the hook attachment. And then we got both hood hinges on here. And the reason why we're messing with this right now is the striker is just bent, as you can see, just ever so slightly this way. So we're gonna try and hook something on here and just give it one good tug that way. So we'll get that, and that should pretty well for the hood. But I think the hood's, I don't know, it looked pretty crooked before, but honestly right now it doesn't look so bad. So we'll see in a second here if she lines up. So there's the hood. She closes nice. We really don't know what it lines up to yet because we don't have any fenders on it, but don't even do that. And then we'll get to fixing it afterwards. We just want to at least see where it's at. It wouldn't even close before, like with the hinges being all off and the striker off, it wouldn't close. So this is going to be the major thing. It just has this tiny little tear in it. So we'll try to get into that, but I think right now we're going to get to some cutting. So now the time has come where we're gonna cut out the fender and start to hopefully popping this out. We're probably not gonna tackle the other cut on the other fender today, but the reason why we wanna cut this one first is so that we can hopefully get something in behind here and see what we can do with this dent. So this is the cut that we're gonna do. And we're gonna cut this so that, the reason why we're cutting all this is because the overfenders are gonna mount way up here, and this is gonna allow for more clearance on the wheels, not these wheels necessarily, but wider wheels that can clear in here. That's the whole idea behind putting these over fenders on. So there's the cut mark. Let's get to cutting and get to the fun. We have all that kind of cut out, and we tried getting a pry bar back here to see if we could do anything, but honestly, it doesn't look like it's gonna happen, you guys. So I think what we're gonna do next is drill a hole And we have a slide hammer, which is in here with this kit. And out of all the attachments, I mean, they have like these type of attachments and whatnot, but they have one where you put this on the end and this attaches here. And you put a screw into it and they give you a bolt. I don't know where I just put it. Oh, here it is. So this goes in here and this thing actually goes inside of that. So this attaches. So I think what we're gonna try and do is, because this is folded over pretty bad, we need everything to come out this direction so that this can return back to where it was. So we're gonna try and put it here, right in this crevice, because that's gonna be the strongest point. And we're gonna try and put this in here and try to pull the slide hammer this way to bring this back out. So we should see, I don't know, we'll see what happens, you guys, but I mean, to try to pry this out is nearly impossible. So, and I've removed some of the panels inside. If you look here, there's just no way to get it. Even if I took all the soft top out, which is a huge job, it's like almost a half day to a day job, you still can't get to the inner fender. And even looking at like underneath here, like through the trunk, there's no way to get to it. So it's all got that. The only way would be to go through this way, but I mean, going the whole length to there and then trying to get something on here is, again, not an easy feat as well. So we're gonna try this method. We'll see what happens. Worst comes worst, we have one little hole in there, but we'll see what happens. Dude, that's working, huh? I don't know how much more I should go there though. It's almost like I have to drill one more hole there. Because I think it's gonna start to pull this thing inside out soon. Couple more? See what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that stopped there. So I think now I gotta put one here. So that worked pretty good, you guys. It's almost flush on this body line here. It's just a tiny bit down. But what like you said, this is what we ended up doing. We drilled a hole there and pulled that out. So you can kind of see a little bit of distortion, which kind of is to be expected when you're pulling on just one bolt area, but didn't really have too much of a choice. You'll also see a bit of paint that's flaked off here. And the reason being is when this got pushed in, it rounded here and it's kind of made a high spot here and flaked the paint. So what we're gonna do is, now that we've got this to pretty much where we need it, we're gonna put this in here and we're going to hold out tension, and I'm gonna tap on this with a hammer to get this to sit down. So get this back flat, and that should even extend this out just a bit more because it'll make this a little bit longer, this area, bring this body line out. And I think we might have to drill one more hole here to pop this section out. So maybe here, we'll drill the opposite way, we'll pop all this out, and we should be pretty much as good as we're gonna get before we have to start doing some body filler and that kind of stuff. So let's keep at it and see where we end up. It's looking pretty good. Dude, look at that. Not bad. Right there, I think is the next spot. Tink, tink. Except for that big kink in the plate here. So we've got most of the damage out. Now you can just see we have this one kink here. We did try prying it this way with the pry bar initially, but it kind of left this little dent in it more than anything. But we're gonna try using this. We kind of put a bunch of electrical tape around this pry bar, so hopefully we can get something softer in here to try to pry this out. Now that we have the corners pretty well where they need to be, We just got to get this kind of softer dent to pop out, hopefully, but we'll see what happens. We are super close to where we need to be. Everything looks pretty dang good. There's just this one kind of soft dent here, but I don't know if it's honestly worth drilling another hole to get in there to get that out. I think like it's very small, you guys. I think we might end up just filling that, to be completely honest with you. Again, we're not going for 100% show car, but I think this is gonna be a pretty easy dent to fill. And I kind of just smoothed out the 2 holes like you guys saw. We had to drill the 2 holes here so that we could, you know, relieve that impact there. But I mean, this is all good through here, and this body line here is good. It's just this kind of soft dent here. So I mean, we could probably drill a hole here and pull this out, but I think it's just gonna rupture because that's what this kind of method tends to do. And I kind of just had to tap down. It kind of like makes a little volcano type thing where you pull on it, and I had to tap down around the edges of the hole. But now it's flush. I mean, it's not sitting any higher than the rest of the body line. I can run my finger over it and we're good to go. So I'm gonna finish cleaning up some of this stuff here. I gotta cut the rest of this out. As you can see, I haven't did it. The reason why I left this like this was so that we had something to pry on if the prying method would work. But yeah, I think we're pretty well good, and the door closes good, and everything seems to line up pretty good. So, and as far as body lines, like, we're pretty much there, you guys. A little bit of filler and we'll be on the money. This is pretty much off. Just this one little piece here, holding it on. There. So that junk is off. And we're all cut out for the wider fenders and pretty much done. So that's all trimmed off, and what we're gonna have to do at some point here is just tap all this up. So you can see I started to do it there because this surface has to meet here, and then we're gonna have to grind this and eventually weld it together and then trim off this excess. So we've made the clearance. Only other thing I have to really do back here is see this bracket's all kind of bent up. So I'm just gonna use a slide hammer, attach it to here, get this back into shape, and we'll be done on this side for now. And like I said, this is pretty much as straight as I think we can get it without making too much more damage to get it, you know, back to being straight. So not in this video, but we'll end up sanding this all, filling it in and getting it all prepped. All right, you guys, so that's gonna do it for today's video. If you did like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. And if you're stopping into the channel for the first time, make sure you smash that subscribe button, turn on that bell so that you're notified of all the latest videos. We got a lot on the way. Things are moving quickly, so you don't wanna miss any of the action. Anyways, you guys, we'll see you on the next video. Take care. Omar, what are you doing?
Adding some horsepower.
How many horsepower is that add?
At least 15.
15?
Fuck yeah.
Those are supercar suspect flames. You're gonna make it look even more suspect in that thing. All right, well, we're gonna finish drawing this over here, maybe adding a few more flames, and then we'll get to cutting.